So in this video, I'm going to give you an overview of the ACRL, which stands for American Colleges and Research Libraries, Frameworks for Information Literacy for Higher Education. Throughout the research process, we will use the frameworks for information literacy as our guide. The 6 frames are not meant to operate independently. They are overlapping and interconnected. They reflect the iterative and recursive nature of the research process itself. When we focus on authority as constructed and contextual, we'll also be talking about information creation as a process, and of information as valuable. When we talk about research as inquiry, we will also be talking about strategic exploration and information creation as a process. So all of these things fit together. You can access all of the information about the framework in the ACRL Frameworks book in the top section of our Moodle course. Each frame has one main chapter, which provides an in-depth overview of that concept, and also 2 subchapters, one with a short informational video from Oklahoma University, and another with some guiding questions to help you think about how the concept applies to our work in this class. Because they're all connected, in this video I'm going to talk through a brief description of each frame. But for the sake of ensuring that we really think deeply about all of them, we'll be spending about a week focusing on them one at a time, starting with authority as constructed and contextual. So when we talk about authority as constructed and contextual, what that means is that information resources reflect their creators' expertise and credibility, and are evaluated based on the information need and the context in which that information will be used. Authority is constructed in that various communities may recognize different types of authority, and it's contextual in that the information need may help determine the level of authority required. I know that's a lot, but in other words, experts don't just happen, and just because somebody claims to be an expert doesn't mean that they are. Authority varies depending on the situation and can be earned through different means, such as completing a degree program or by living through an experience. Understanding how an author earned their credibility and their authority, and considering the context in which you need to use that information, can help you understand a source's purpose, biases, and relevance. Information creation as a process. So information in any format is produced to convey a message, and it's shared via a selected delivery method. The iterative processes of researching, creating, revising, and disseminating information vary, and the resulting product reflects these differences. Information doesn't just exist, right? Understanding how a source was constructed and the purpose for which it was created can help you better understand the relevance and value of that source. This frame also applies to the research process in that by conducting research, you are constructing information. How you go about asking questions and piecing together answers will influence the quality and the content of your final product, of the information that you create. Information has value. Information possesses several dimensions of value, including as a commodity, right? It can be bought and sold, as a means of education and as a means to influence, as a means of negotiating and understanding the world. Legal and socioeconomic interests influence information production and dissemination. This one seems simple at first, right? But that last part about the socioeconomic interests is really important. To think about information as valuable, you also have to ask valuable to whom, right? Information can maintain the status quo or it can challenge existing systems of power. Who has access to different types of information is also a result of the value of that information and the interests of the people or organizations who control access to the information. Considering the value of information and those who stand to benefit from or be harmed by information can help you better understand how to use that information, how to interpret, analyze, and apply the information that you're finding. Research as inquiry. Research is iterative and depends upon asking increasingly complex or new questions, whose answers in turn develop additional questions or lines of inquiry. This one is really a matter of perspective. It's a way of thinking about the entire research process. Generative research should be approached as a series of questions and exploration rather than a process of constructing easy-to-find answers or compiling information that supports a preordained conclusion. Scholarship as conversation. Communities of scholars, researchers, or professionals engage in sustained discourse with new insights and discoveries occurring over time as a result of varied perspectives and interpretations. This one seems abstract, but really it's just a metaphor. We build knowledge about our world by thinking about things and then talking to each other about it. Academic research and publications are just scholars thinking about something and then talking to each other about it in writing. We include sources in our writing as a way of building on and arguing with the work and ideas that came before. The conversation has been going on long before we arrived and will continue long after we're gone. But by reading the ideas of others and then putting forward our own ideas, we can participate in this ongoing conversation. Searching as strategic exploration. Searching for information is often non-linear and iterative, requiring the evaluation of a range of information sources and the mental flexibility to pursue alternate avenues as new understanding develops. This one is really just a good reminder that when you get frustrated or stuck, it's okay to circle back and try another angle. Being mentally flexible means being ready to adapt your thinking when confronted with unexpected information, to change your question as you go if new angles emerge, and to always be open to new possibilities. So as I said, these frames are not separate, but each of them offers a way of thinking about accessing and using information that will help you complete your research project. Even though we're going to focus on one at a time, you should definitely feel free to bring the others into discussion and to think about the ways in which they intersect, overlap, and complement one another as we make our way through the next few weeks.